Welcome to Tsati Group of Education. Hello students. See, in this lecture, today we are going to learn the refraction of light. See, in the last standard we have learned about the two phenomena of light, and in that the first one was the reflection, right? So we have learned what is meant by the reflection, and in this year, in this chapter, we are going to learn the refraction of light. Okay, so we will just shortly revise the contents which are included in this topic. Okay, so let's start. See, first one, what is meant by the refraction of light? Okay, so see, whenever the light passes from one medium to another medium, what happens? The direction of light changes. We know that light always travels in a straight line. But suppose if one medium is the air and another medium is the water, then while traveling from the air to the water, what happens? The path of the light changes, or the direction of the light changes. Okay, so you can see here definition of the refraction of light is that light changes its direction when going from one transparent medium to another. Okay, this is called as the refraction of light. Okay, so simply refraction is the change in the direction of light whenever it passes from one medium into another medium. Okay, then we will see firstly the refraction of light passing through a glass slab. Okay, means you can see this one figure. See, the first one medium here is the air and second one medium is the glass. Okay, and this is the ray you can see which is traveling from air into the glass. Okay, so the pair of a medium is the air and glass. So see what happens here when the light ray passes from air into the glass. What happens? You can see this is actually the path of the light, okay, which is actually the refracted. So this is the straight line path of the light and this is the refracted path. Okay, so whenever the medium changes, there is a change in direction. Okay, so see, you can see this is the normal which is actually perpendicular to the surface of the glass. Okay, then here it is the angle I. Okay, I means the angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is simply the angle which is made by the ray with the normal. Okay, so this is what the I, angle of incidence, and you can see here it is the R. You can see this is the angle between the normal and the refracted ray. Okay, so angle of refraction is the angle made by the refracted ray with the normal. Okay, so you can understand now what is the angle of incidence and what is the angle of refraction. Okay, then you can see here in this one case, for the first refraction means the light ray is traveling from air into the glass, then after from glass again into the air. Okay, so here actually the first one refraction takes place when light comes from air into the glass. So this is the first one case of refraction, and for first refraction you can see the angle of incidence is I and angle of refraction is R. Okay, so this is the refracted ray. Then after again, now light ray will emerge from glass into the air. So again the medium is changing. Okay, so what will happen? Again the path of the light ray will change. Okay, so this is the second refraction, and for the second one refraction, the angle of incidence is the I and angle of refraction is the E. Okay, so this is what the angle of this is what the refraction. Okay, so see, refraction of light passing through a glass slab. When light ray travels from air into glass, one refraction is there, and again when a light ray travels from glass into the air, second one refraction takes place. Okay, then we should remember the angle of incidence and angle of refraction. Okay, then see, next one is laws of refraction. Okay, means as we have seen there are laws for reflection, similarly there are certain laws for refraction also. Okay, in that you can see mainly two laws are there. Okay, firstly we will see this Venn diagram. This is what? This is the incident ray. The upcoming ray is called as the incident ray, and this is what? This is the refracted ray. Okay, and this is the normal. Okay, normal is actually perpendicular to the boundary between the two media. Okay, so you can see this is the incident ray, this is refracted ray. I is the angle of incidence, R is the angle of refraction. Okay, then this one medium is the air and the second one medium is the glass. Okay, so now what is the first one law of refraction? See, the incident ray and refracted ray are on the opposite sides of normal. You can see here, this is the incident ray, this is the refracted ray, and incident ray and refracted ray both are on the opposite sides of the normal. Okay, then the incident ray, refracted ray and the normal lie in the same plane. So this is what the first law of refraction. Okay, then see, second one law of refraction is that for a given pair of a media, means our pair of a medium should be fixed, means air and glass, glass and water, water and air. Okay, so this is what for a given pair of a media, the ratio of sin I to sin R is a constant one. Okay, if you take the fixed pair of a media or like air and glass, then for that one the ratio of angle of incidence, the sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is a constant one. Okay, so you can see here sin I upon sin R is equals to constant. So for any pair of a media, this one ratio is a constant. These are the two laws of refraction. Okay, then see, next one point is the refractive index. Simply, what is refractive index? In the second law of refraction, we seen that sin I to the sin R is a constant one. Okay, and you can see here sin I to the sin R, this ratio is a constant and this constant is represented by n. Simply this n is called as the refractive index. Okay, but n is called as the refractive index of a second medium with respect to the first medium. We are going to learn what is the refractive index of second medium with respect to first and what is the refractive index of first medium with respect to second. Okay, but simply just remember sin I to the sin R, this one ratio is a constant and this one constant is represented by n. Okay, and this is what the refractive index. Okay, then see, the value of a refractive index is different for different media and also for a light of different colors for the same medium. Okay, so the value of refractive index is different for different medium. If the medium changes, the refractive index of that medium also changes. Then after we know that, see, there are the different colors of a light. Okay, so for the different color of a light, again the value of a refractive index is a different one. Okay, then see, refractive index depends on the velocity of the light in medium. Actually, you should remember that refractive index always depends on the velocity of light in the medium. Okay, then the refractive index of a medium with respect to vacuum is called as the absolute refractive index. What is the absolute refractive index? The refractive index of any medium which is calculated with respect to vacuum. Vacuum means no air. Okay, so this is what the absolute refractive index. Then see, there are certain laws for the refraction we have seen, and also some points are given here in the refractive index. So see, what is the first one? The refractive index of the second medium with respect to first medium is always represented by 2 and 1. How we should read this? Refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium, okay, is equal to the ratio of velocity of light in medium 1 to that in medium 2. Okay, see, in the refractive index we have learned that the refractive index of any medium depends on the velocity of light in that medium. Okay, so we can calculate the refractive index of medium by using the velocities of light in that mediums. Okay, so the refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium is equals to velocity of light in medium 1 is a V1 and velocity of light in medium 2 is a V2. Here you can say this is our medium number 1, air, and this is medium number 2. The velocity of light in air is a V1 and in the glass it is V2. So refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium is equals to V1 upon V2. Okay. Then similarly, how to calculate the refractive index of first medium with respect to second medium is equal to velocity of light in medium second upon velocity of light in the medium first. So simply it is inverse of this equation. Okay. Then see refraction of light in different medium. Okay, so see we can divide the mediums like a denser medium or rarer medium. If we take a pair of air and water, air is a rarer medium and water is a denser medium. Okay, so or if we take the pair of a water and glass, then water is, as compared to the glass, it is rarer and glass is the denser medium. So whenever light rays passes from denser medium to rarer medium or rarer medium to denser medium, there are certain laws which are obeyed by the light rays. Okay, that laws we are going to learn in this one point. Okay, if you see the first one figure, light ray is coming from rarer medium into denser medium. This is rarer medium, this is denser medium. Okay, so when light ray is coming from rarer medium into denser medium, what happens? When a light ray passes from a rarer medium to a denser medium, it bends towards normal. This is what the normal. So the refracted ray bends towards the normal. Then in the second case, light ray is coming from denser medium to a rarer medium. Now in this case what happens? When a light ray passes from a denser medium to rarer medium, it bends away from normal. Okay, in this one case it bends towards the normal, in the second one case it bends away from the normal. Then in the third one figure you can see the incident ray is actually perpendicular or normal to the boundary between the two media. Okay, so there when a light ray is incident normally at the boundary between two media, it does not change its direction and does not get refracted. So whenever the incident ray is normal to the boundary between the two media, then it doesn't get refracted, it travels in a straight line. Okay, then due to the refraction of light, we see certain phenomenon in our surrounding in atmosphere. Okay, in that the first one is the twinkling of stars. So see, firstly we know that light is actually the electromagnetic radiation. Okay, it is composed of electric and magnetic waves. And stars are actually they are self-luminous. Okay, so in our day-to-day life we observe the twinkling of the stars, and behind the twinkling of the stars there is actually the refraction of light. Okay, so see what happens. Stars are self-luminous sources, and stars are self-luminous and they appear to be point sources because they are at a very large distance from us. Actually stars are of a big size, but they are very away from us, they are very far away from us. That's why we see them as a point sources. Okay, then see, starlight coming towards us travels from rarer medium to denser medium at a constantly bends away towards the normal. Means if you see, as we go away from the earth's surface, what happens? The density of the air decreases. As we go away from the earth's surface, the density of air decreases. So the light rays which are coming from the stars towards us, they actually travel from rarer medium to the denser medium, and we have learned that when light rays travel from denser medium to rarer medium to denser medium, what happens? They constantly bend towards the normal. Okay, so further see what happens due to this. As the rays coming from rarer medium to denser medium, they constantly bends towards the normal, and due to that what happens? The star appear to be higher in the sky as compared to its original position. Okay, so we can see the stars at a higher position than their actual position, and it is just because of the refraction of light. Okay, because the light which is coming from stars towards us is constantly refracted, and that's why than the original position we observe them at a higher position. Then further see, the refractive index of air changes continuously. In between the star and the surface of earth, definitely air is there. Okay, and the refractive index of this one air continuously changes, and behind the certain reasons are like motion of atmospheric air, that is the velocity of air in each and every region. It changes, it varies. Okay, then density of air also changes. We have seen as we go away from the earth, the density of air decreases and the temperature of air also decreases. So these are the factors which are responsible to cause the varying refractive index of air. Okay, so the refractive index of air changes continuously because of the motion of atmospheric air, then changing air density and temperature. Then see, because of this change in position and brightness of the star keeps changing continuously, and stars appears to be twinkling. Means see, due to all these reasons the refractive index continuously changes, and that's why we observe the twinkling of the star. Okay, so this is the one phenomenon which occurs in nature, that is twinkling of stars, and we observe it due to the refraction of light. Okay, then see, this is in this one figure you can see actual star in the sky. Star is placed at this position, but because of refraction we can find this star at a higher position than its actual position. If we are standing here, actually if light rays are pass in a straight line, then we should see the actual position, but the light rays which are coming from the star towards us, continuously they are refracted, because the refractive index of this air is continuously changing, and that's why we can see the higher position of the star than its actual position. Okay, then after see, due to this one refraction of light, we observed another one phenomenon in the nature, and which is the sunrise and the sunset. Okay, so see, sunrise means what? Simply the appearance of the sun above the horizon. But see what happens, but when the sun is below the horizon, suppose this is the horizon, okay, and sun is below the horizon, then what happens? When sun is below the horizon, its light rays reaches along a curved path due to refraction through atmospheric through the earth's atmosphere. In this figure you can clearly see this is the sun, which is actually below the horizon. Okay, and this is our earth. Okay, so actually sunrise means what? The sun appears above the horizon, but before some time of sunrise we can see the sun rays because of the refraction. And what actually happens there, see, the sunlight or the sun rays which are coming from this sun, they reach on the earth through a curved path, and here the refraction takes place. That's why the rays which are coming from the sunlight, they do not travel in a straight line, but they travel through a curved path because of the refraction. And the refraction of light here takes place due to the earth's atmosphere. That's why before the sunrise we can see certain sun rays, and this one phenomenon also takes place due to the refraction of light. Then secondly see, thus we can see the sun before it emerges above the horizon. Then similarly this one case happens at the time of a sunset. Similarly, at the time of sunset, we keep seeing the sun for a short time, even it goes below the horizon. Means before sunrise we see certain rays, and after sunset also we see certain sunlight or the certain rays, and this is also due to the refraction of light. At the time of the sunrise, at the time of the sunset, we observe the rays because of the refraction of light, and this one refraction of light is due to the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, so the twinkling of this stars, then the sunrise and the sunset, these are the actual phenomena which it takes place due to the refraction of the light. Okay, then dispersion of light is the next one phenomenon. Okay, simply dispersion means the scattering. Okay, if you see, light is actually the electromagnetic wave. Okay, and wavelength is the one important property of the light waves or the waves, and only the wavelength of a range having the 400 to 700 nanometers, these rays are visible to us. The rays having the wavelength in between 400 to 700 nanometer, these rays are visible to human eye or us. Okay, so see, what is the dispersion of light? If we see the sun rays, if a single ray of a sunlight is composed of actually 7 colors. Okay, means the light of a different wavelength, that is light of a different colors, is present in that a single ray of a light. See what happens when this one sunlight passes through a glass prism. This is 3-dimensional glass prism. When a single ray of a light or a sunlight passes through this one prism, what happens? By dotted line you can see this is the actual straight line path of the light, but the medium is changed here. This one is air, this is the glass, so definitely refraction will take place there. But what happens here? A single ray gets scattered into 7 different colors, and you can see here the sequence of a Webber. Okay, so this is what the scattering of light into its constituent color. In a sunlight, 7 constituent colors or the light of 7 different wavelengths is present there. So whenever such a single ray of a light passes through glass prism, it gets scattered into its component or the constituent colors. So you can see here violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red color. So what is the dispersion? How we can define the dispersion? Dispersion is the process of separation of light into its component color while passing through a medium is called as dispersion of light. Okay, so you can see here a single ray of light is spread or it is separated into its component colors. Okay, and firstly this one phenomenon was observed by a scientist, Sir Newton. Okay, so Sir Isaac Newton firstly used a glass prism to obtain sun's spectrum. This one sequence, you can see the sequence of a Webber. This sequence is called as the spectrum of colors. Means the sunlight is spread or scattered into its component color, and that one colors, the colors of a sequence is called as what? Spectrum. And to get or to obtain this one spectrum, what is used by the Isaac Newton is the glass prism. Then see, when white light is incident on the prism, different colors bend through different angles. You can see here the bending of each one color is different here. Okay, then you can see among these 7 colors, the red bends the least. This is actually the sunlight. So here bending, if you see here angle, the angle made by the red light with this one ray of light is small. So the red color or among the 7 color, red color bends the least, and you can see here the last one is the violet color which bends the most. Okay, so also you should remember which color bends least and which most. Then the 7 colors emerge along the different path and get separated, and we get a spectrum of 7 colors. This is what the dispersion of light. Okay. Then see, the next one point in this topic is the partial and total internal reflection. Firstly, we will see what is a partial reflection. See, when light enters a rarer medium from denser medium, light is entering into a rarer medium from denser medium, some part of light gets reflected, not refracted, and comes back in the denser medium. This is called as a partial reflection. Whenever the light rays are passing from a rarer medium into denser medium, what happens? Some part of that light is reflected back again into the same medium, that is rarer medium. This is what the partial reflection. Okay. Now what is the total internal reflection? Firstly, look at the diagram. You can see this is the water, this is the air. Air is a rarer medium, water is a denser medium, and here is our source from which the light rays are emerging. Okay, so light rays are coming from from denser medium into a rarer medium. So see what happens when light rays travels from denser medium into rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. We have learned this one point. Whenever the light travels from denser medium to rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. So what happens? The angle of incidence is less than the angle of refraction. Okay. So here also you can see this one, first one ray is emerging from this source and it is passing in the rarer medium. This is I is the angle of incidence, R is the angle of refraction, and this one angle of incidence is less than the angle of refraction because the ray bends away from the normal. Okay. Then if the value of I, we have learned that the ratio sin I to the sin R is a constant one. So as the value of I increase, the value of R will also increase. Okay. Then see further what happens. For particular value of I, as the angle of incidence increases, definitely the angle of refraction increases because the sin R to the sin R ratio is the constant. But what happens for a particular value of I, that is angle of incidence, the value of R becomes equal to 90 degree. Okay, so this one value of I is called as a critical angle. Means this is the value of I. Suppose for 30 degree of angle of incidence, the angle of refraction becomes a 90 degree. Then I is what, or this is what, 30 degree is the critical angle for that pair of a media. So for particular value of I, if the value of R becomes equal to 90 degree, then this one value of angle of incidence is called as the critical angle. Okay. Then when angle of incidence is greater than critical angle, means if angle of incidence, the value of I, if 30 degree is there, for critical angle is 30 degree, for what? The value of R becomes 90. If the value of I becomes greater than critical angle, if it becomes 45, 50, then what will happen? When angle of incidence is greater than critical angle, the angle of refraction is greater than 90 degree. And due to this, what happens? This all the light gets reflected back into the dense medium. This is called as a total internal reflection. Means the whole light is reflected back again into the same medium. This is what the total internal reflection. You can see here in this one figure, as the value of I is increasing, the value of R is also increasing. For this one, this is a critical angle IC. For this one critical angle, the value of R is become 90 degree. Okay. Then further, if the value of I, that is angle of incidence, increases, it is more than the critical angle, then what will happen? Ultimately, the value of the angle of refraction will be greater than 90 degree. So this is what the 90 degree. If the angle of refraction is a 90 degree, then ray will travel in this one line. And if the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle, then whole light, which is coming from this wind source will get reflected back again into the same medium. As you can see, the light rays are coming from the denser medium, that is water, and they are again reflected back into the same medium, that is water. This is what the total internal reflection. Whole light is reflected back into the same medium is called as the total internal reflection. Okay. Then the last point in this topic is the rainbow. Formation of a rainbow is a beautiful natural phenomenon, and for this phenomenon actually takes place by certain processes. Rainbow is a beautiful natural phenomenon, and this phenomenon takes place by the combined effect of the dispersion, refraction, and the total internal reflection of light. As you can see here, the light ray is coming. This is what? This is the small droplet. As for the dispersion, the prisms act as a glass prism act as a one medium. Here small droplets of water, they act as a small prism. So this is the water droplet. This is the incident light ray. When it will enter into the water drop, what will happen? Medium will change, so automatically refraction will be there. Then when they will fall here, the ray will not get reflected, it will refracted. Total internal reflection will take place there. So then after here also the dispersion of light takes place, means there is a scattering or separation of the light into its constituent colors. So the single sunlight will get scattered into 7 colors. Okay, then after further they come out of the water droplet, and here again also the refraction will take place. So it is combined effect of dispersion, then that is what? Scattering of light, then refraction. Here in these two cases the path is changing, then total internal reflection takes place here. So as a combined effect of all these 3 processes, we can observe the rainbow, and for this small droplets of water act as a prisms. Then one example is the absolute refractive index of water is 1.36. What is the velocity of light in water? See, absolute refractive index is what? Simply the refractive index of that medium with the respect to vacuum. Then what is the velocity of light in water is asked. The velocity of light in a vacuum is given. It is 3 × 10⁸ meter per second. So firstly, given things, velocity of light in air is 3 × 10⁸ meter per second, and absolute refractive index is a 1.36. Okay. So absolute refractive index, that is absolute refractive index is equals to V1 upon V2. Value of absolute refractive index is 1.36. It is equals to 3 × 10⁸ upon V2. So we can calculate the V2 and we will get the value of a V2, that is velocity of light in water, and it is 2.21 into 10⁸ meter per second. Okay. So see, in this way we have revised all the content, all the important points in the topic refraction of light. Okay. Thank you.